Changing your life doesn't always require years of effort. Sometimes, a focused, intensive 7-day challenge can set the tone for an entirely new mindset, habits, and direction. Here are 7 powerful, daily practices that, when rigorously followed, can kickstart a transformation in your mental clarity, physical health, and overall life satisfaction. Day 1. Embrace self-awareness and journaling. You are lost, not because the path is unclear, but because you never stop to see where you are. Most people run through life on autopilot, reacting, escaping, distracting, but never examining. The Stoics saw this as a sickness of the soul, the cure, brutal self-awareness, and the tool, journaling. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations for the world. He wrote them for himself to track his mind, challenge his ego, and correct his behavior. Every day, he faced his thoughts like an enemy on the battlefield. He questioned his desires. He doubted his judgments. He wrote not to remember, but to understand. Modern psychology backs this up. A study in Advances in Psychiatric Treatment, 2010, found that daily journaling improves mood, reduces stress, and strengthens emotional clarity. Another research in the APA Journal of Experimental Psychology shows that writing about your thoughts increases brain activity in the regions responsible for decision-making and self-control. So today, start your 7-day war with yourself. Sit in silence. Write down, what am I avoiding? What do I fear people knowing about me? What habits are killing my potential? What do I truly want, and why haven't I achieved it? Write this in the morning before your distractions wake up. Write again at midday, how have you acted so far? Was it intentional or reactive? Then write again at night, who were you today? A master of your mind or a slave to impulses? This is not poetry, it's surgery. Each word cuts deeper into who you really are, because you cannot change what you won't face. Common truth? People don't journal because they're afraid of their reflection. They fear the mirror will show how far they've drifted from their values. But that fear is exactly where you need to go. Painful truth leads to powerful change. The ancient Stoics knew an unexamined life is not worth living, as Socrates declared, and they lived it. Epictetus told his students to review their day every single night, not with guilt, but with discipline. Where did I fall short? What did I do well? What can I do better? If you skip this, you stay blind. If you write with honesty, you begin to see, not just the darkness, but the path out of it. The mind, once observed, begins to obey. But a mind ignored will always rule you. So write. Bleed the truth onto paper. Strip yourself down, because clarity isn't a gift. It's a fight. Day 2. Establish a powerful morning routine. If you win the morning, you win the day. The most dangerous man is not the one who sleeps in and reacts to life. It's the one who rises before the sun and moves with intention. Marcus Aurelius, the Emperor of Rome, wrote in Meditations, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?" Even Heen, emperor, fought against comfort, and yet he got up every single morning. Your morning routine is your first battle of the day, and most people lose it before they even open their eyes. They hit snooze, scroll social media, complain about being tired. But you wake up 1 hour earlier than your past self. That's not just an hour of time, that's an hour of power. Science proves this too. A 2021 study published in Nature Communications found that early risers are significantly less likely to suffer from depression and have higher cognitive function than late sleepers. The world is quieter in the morning. Your mind is clearer. There are no distractions, no demandsonly silence and choice. So what do you do in this hour? First, move your body. A 10-minute walk or workout resets your nervous system, boosts dopamine, and increases discipline. You're not training to get fit, you're training to wake the warrior inside. Second, meditate. Sit in stillness. Focus on your breathing. Ask yourself, What matters today? What will I refuse to be distracted by? What kind of person must I become by nightfall? Third, read wisdom. Don't consume noise, consume fuel. One page from the Discourses of Epictetus, a chapter from Letters from a Stoic. Even a single quote can rewire your day. Seneca once said, "While we waste our time hesitating and postponing, life is slipping away." Read that in the morning, and you'll feel urgency in your bones. And finally, journal. Write your intent. Write your fears. Write the battles you know are coming. Your mind will try to forget. This page will remind you. Most people spend their mornings reacting. The strong spend them forging their mindset. This hour isn't about productivity, it's about identity. Every day you repeat this ritual, you reinforce the truth. I am not here to exist. I am here to dominate my time, my mind, and my mission. Negativity can't survive a disciplined morning. It thrives in laziness, confusion, and chaos. But when you begin the day with clarity, sweat, silence, and purpose, you become untouchable. Day 3. Digital detox and mindful consumption. Your attention is your life, and right now it's being stolen bit by bit, swipe by swipe. Most people don't even realize it. They don't own their thoughts anymore. The algorithm does. That's not an exaggeration, it's a design. Every ping, buzz, and red notification is a psychological hook crafted by behavioral engineers. A 2018 study from the University of Pennsylvania showed that reducing social media use to just 30 minutes per day significantly reduced depression and loneliness in participants within 3 weeks. Another study by Harvard found that every time you check your phone impulsively, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine, the same chemical involved in addiction. That's not convenience, that's a trap. The Stoics warned us thousands of years ago. Seneca said, "You must linger among a limited number of master thinkers, and digest their works, if you would derive ideas which shall win firm hold in your mind." He didn't say scroll endlessly. He said linger, focus, absorb, reflect. Today, you reclaim your mind. Turn off all notifications. Put your phone on airplane mode. Log out of every app that manipulates your time without giving value. Watch how fast the silence feels uncomfortable. That's withdrawal not from technology, but from addiction. Notice how often your hand reaches for your phone like a nervous twitch. Each time, stop, breathe, ask yourself, what was I about to do? Why was I doing it? What am I avoiding right now? Replace this habit with something intentional. Read, write, sketch, take a walk, and observe your environment without music blasting in your ears. Learn a craft. Watch how time slows down, how colors seem brighter, how thoughts go deeper. That's not magic, that's presence. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Know where you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." But how can you reach that soul when your mind is hijacked every 10 seconds? You can't, which is why today, you stop feeding the machine. You stop letting your mental energy be scattered into 1,000 useless directions. And when the silence becomes unbearable, you'll meet your real self, the one beneath the noise, the one who actually has ideas, goals, thoughts, and depth. Most people never meet that version of themselves because the feed keeps them distracted until they die. But not you. You sit with the silence. You rewire your brain for focus. And tonight, when you journal, ask, how did I feel without constant stimulation? What thoughts returned to me when I removed the noise? What do I now see more clearly? This isn't about hating technology. It's about owning your attention like a warrior guards a fortress, because your focus is your sword, and right now, the enemy has it. Take it back. Day 4. Ignite physical strength with an intense workout. Your body is your battlefield, and today you go to war. Not with weights, not with reps, but with your limits. You see, most people live inside a body they've never tested. They carry their bones and muscles like passengers instead of weapons. That's why they break under stress, because their body never learned to fight. The Stoics didn't see physical hardship as optional. Epictetus said, Difficulties show a man's character. Therefore, when trouble comes, think of yourself as a wrestler, not a victim, a wrestler. You're supposed to sweat. You're supposed to strain. That's how you earn your calm. Today, your mission is simple. Push your body until your mind wants to quit. Then, keep going. Because every push-up past exhaustion, every sprint past the burn, is where weakness dies. This isn't just fitness, it's philosophy. The pain you feel in your legs isn't punishment. It's fire forging steel. A study published in Neuroscience Letters, 2012, found that intense physical activity increases levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNFA, protein, that boosts mental clarity, focus, and memory. So no, your workout isn't just shaping your body, it's rewiring your brain. Your blood flow becomes sharper thought. Your sweat becomes discipline. Your breathless moments become resilience under pressure. And when you hit that moment, the one where your muscles scream and your lungs begule, meet the real you. Not the one online, not the one that talks, the one that acts, the one that endures. That version is silent, strong, and untouchable. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Your tired legs? The way. Your shaking arms? The way. Your resistance to even start? That's the door. Kick it open. Forget how you feel. Feelings are liars. They say stop. They say you're done. But your will has another voice, and it whispers, one more. And when you finish, when you're gasping, soaked in sweat, maybe even trembling, you'll walk away with more than muscle. You'll carry proof. Proof that you're the kind of person who can do hard things. The kind of person who doesn't negotiate with weakness. The kind of person others want to become, but few have the courage to build. After your workout, don't rush. Sit in the aftermath. Let the silence wrap around your heartbeat. Reflect. Journal the answers to these. What pain did I overcome today that I used to run from? What part of me grew stronger when I refused to quit? How does physical control bleed into emotional control? Eat clean. Hydrate like you're preparing for battle, because you are. Every day is war against comfortend. Today, you won. You're not just building muscle. You're building a future no weakness can enter. Day 5. Learn something new. Feed your curious mind. Your mind is starving, but not for entertainment. For depth, for mastery, for meaning. Today, you feed it. Not with noise, not with dopamine scrolls, but with knowledge that rewires your brain, elevates your thinking, and forces you to grow. You don't become powerful by repeating what you already know. You become powerful by stepping into the unknown and conquering it. Seneca once wrote, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." That's not a metaphor, it's a command. Because the second you stop learning, you start dying. Not physically, mentally, spiritually. The rot of comfort starts easy mind. So pick something unfamiliar. A foreign language, a scientific concept, a new philosophy, even a brutal passage from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations where he said, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." That's what learning does. It jolts you awake. Take 2 hours today, not minutes, not in between tasks, hours. Uninterrupted. Let the world around you shrink, phone off, silence only. Sit with a notebook and a single task. Learn something new with intensity. Why? Because learning reshapes the structure of your brain. A study from Nature Neuroscience, 2005, showed that learning new skills creates synaptic plasticity. Your brain literally forms new pathways. You become smarter, not through age, but through effort. Think of your mind like a blade. Every time you study, you sharpen it. Every concept you understand becomes a weapon in the war against ignorance. The more you know, the harder it is for the world to manipulate you. Learn code so the digital world can't enslave you. Learn language so ideas don't get lost in translation. Learn philosophy so suffering doesn't control you. Learn science so you understand your body, your food, your chemistry. And don't just consume process. After your session, write down, what did I learn today? How can I apply it in real life? What question do I still have that demands deeper learning? Your answers will surprise you. Because learning isn't passive, it's transformation. It's how you go from being a pawn of life to the architect of it. The Stoics weren't just wise, they were obsessed with knowledge. Epictetus began as a slave. What freed him wasn't rebellion, it was philosophy. He once said, "Only the educated are free." That's the kind of freedom you're chasing today. Not freedom from work or pressure, but freedom from ignorance, weakness, and mental fog. So take that book, that online course, that deep article, that old text with dusty truths, and devour it. Because when you stop learning, your mind becomes a graveyard of potential. But when you commit to curiosity, even for one disciplined day, you become something most people never become. Dangerous. Day 6. Strengthen relationships and set boundaries. If you want to evolve, you cannot drag the weight of toxic people with you. Some connections aren't connections at all, they're chains. Today, you look around and ask a hard question. Who in my life is feeding my growth and who is silently poisoning it? The people around you are either building your fortress or burning it down while smiling. Relationships are not neutral. They shape your energy, your mindset, your identity. That's why the Stoic philosopher Seneca warned, associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. If someone drains you, mocks your discipline, distracts you from your path, or disrespects your boundaries, that's not love. That's sabotage. Study after study confirms this. A 2014 research paper from the University of California, San Diego found that negative social interactions are one of the strongest predictors of depression and stress, even more than workload or financial pressure. You can eat clean, train hard, read books, but if your circle is toxic, your soul will rot from within. So, audit your people. Make a list. Who makes you feel alive, focused, respected? Who leaves you anxious, tired, or second-guessing yourself? You don't need to confront anyone with drama. Stoics didn't scream. They stepped back with dignity. Marcus Aurelius never wasted time debating manipulators. He simply wrote, "It is in your power to retire into yourself whenever you choose. You can't fix someone who doesn't want to be fixed. And you don't need to explain your silence to people who never listened in the first place." That's where boundaries come in, not walls, but filters. They let the light in and block the poison out. If someone disrespects your time, always complains, guilt trips you, or crosses your line, set the boundary once. If they ignore it, walk away. No yelling, no second chances, just detachment. This doesn't make you heartless, it makes you wise. And while you're cutting dead weight, don't forget to strengthen the few relationships that matter. Real allies are rare. Text someone who inspires you. Call someone who's always believed in you. Share your goals with a person who can hold you accountable. You'll be surprised how one authentic conversation can shift your whole trajectory. The Stoics weren't loners, they chose their tribe carefully. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Because your environment isn't just where you live, it's who you live around. And if you surround yourself with chaos, don't be shocked when peace feels impossible. So today, choose peace, choose growth, choose boundaries, and never feel guilty for cutting ties with those who choke your evolution. Because your soul isn't public property. It's sacred ground. Guard it. Day 7. Reflect, celebrate, and plan forward with gratitude. You made it here, but not by accident. You showed up. You pushed through. You faced your mind. And now, you reflect not as the same person who started, but as someone reborn through pain, discipline, and awareness. Open your journal from day one. Read your own words. Compare your chaos with your current clarity. That's your proof. That's your fight. Don't wait for the world to recognize your progress. Recognize it yourself. The quiet victories. Waking up with purpose. Resisting distractions. Breaking through doubt. Choosing strength over comfort. Saying no when it was easier to say nothing. That's the real success, and it deserves to be honored. Now pause and breathe. List what you're grateful for, not the obvious things, but the bitter ones too. That moment you felt alone, it made you self-reliant. That failure, it redirected your path. That heartbreak, it forced you to rebuild stronger. That weakness, it showed you where to grow. Gratitude isn't about being soft. It's about seeing clearly. It's about owning your reality without resentment or illusions. The Stoics practice this. Marcus Aurelius, in the darkest corners of his journal, wrote, "When you arise in the morning, I think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude is a weapon. It shields you from entitlement. It kills envy. It grounds you. It reminds you already have to rise again. Now look forward. Don't wait for life to slow down, structure it. Build a weekly ritual where you audit your life like a philosopher and a warrior. Every Sunday ask, what habits served me? What dragged me backward? What must I double down on next week? Create your map. Design your rituals. Make them sacred. Because discipline without reflection is slavery. But discipline with reflection? That's power. Understand, this 7-day challenge was never the end. It was the door. You've stepped through it. And now, you don't go back to who you were. You build forward deliberate, sharp, unstoppable. Because you don't just live anymore. You live with fire. This 7-day challenge is designed to ignite transformative change from within. With commitment, discipline, and an open heart, you can turn even a short period into a catalyst for lifelong success. Every day builds upon the last, transforming self-awareness into discipline, discipline into focus, and focus into a life reimagined. Are you ready to embrace the challenge and change your life in just 7 days?